Mama, do you ever start a new routine with good intentions only to burn out after a week? I totally get it. But what if the reason the routines don't stick, it is because that they're built on hustle and not on God? Okay, so today I want to show you how to create a God centered routine that will actually last. Welcome to Flourishing with Purpose, home of the Blissful Mom channel. I am Felicia, a Christian time management coach for moms. Around here, we believe in harmony and not hustle, aligning our lives with God so that we can flourish in faith, in family, and work. So today, I'm going to be sharing just 3 simple steps on how to create that God centered routine that will actually last. Let's dive into step one. Step one is to start with God's presence. Most of our routines, they fail because we start with what we think that we should do instead of starting with who God is. What is the importance of us starting with who He is? Well, when we build our routines around Him, when we build our routines around Him, we got to remember that He is the solid rock. He is the solid rock. He is the sure foundation of all things. So when we build our routine around Him, everything else will flow. Everything else flows. So that's why I'm encouraging you and even myself to start our days, even if it's just with 15 to 30 minutes of prayer and scripture. 15 to 30 minutes of prayer and scripture. Matthew 6 and 33 reads, it says, seek ye first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things, everything else, it will be given to you as well. It will be added to us. Nothing will be subtracted. It will be added to our lives. So a God-centered routine, it doesn't start with hustle. It starts with the presence of God. It starts with his presence. Step number 2 is to anchor it in purpose. Anchor it in purpose. Routines that last, they're tied to purpose and not pressure. Routines that last, they're tied to purpose and not pressure. Instead of asking, what do I need to get done today? We need to ask, um, God, what has God called me to do today? That's a tremendous difference. What do I need to get done today versus God, what has God called me to do today? Big difference. For example, maybe it's being fully present at dinner with our family and with our children. Maybe it's honoring God by stewarding our bodies with rest. We have been hustling and not taking that time to rest, to steward our bodies with rest. So when we anchor our routines in God's presence, and anchor our routines in God's purpose and his way, they shift. They shift from being a burden to being life changing, from being a burden to being life changing and life giving. Step number 3, keep it simple and relatable. Here is the mistake that many of us make. We overcomplicate things, we overcomplicate our routines. And I'm one. that not only overcomplicates, but I'm one that's good for overthinking. So we got to keep it simple and we got to keep it relatable. And God doesn't require complicated steps. He does not. He calls us to abide. He calls us to abide. Just start with one or two small rhythms that you can sustain. Just start with one or two small rhythms that you can sustain. Let me share something with you. There's also power in the one. There's also power in the one. So just one or two small rhythms that you can sustain. A morning prayer before checking your phone. A weekly Sabbath rest time. Writing out things that we are thankful for in our journal at the end of the day, at night. John 15 and 5, it reminds us that he says, I am the vine and you are the branches. If you will only remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. So we got to remain. We got to stay connected to the vine. We got to stay connected to our nourishment and power source, which is the vine, which is Jesus Christ. So consistency, not perfection, is what makes a routine last. Consistency and not perfection is what makes a routine last. So, in my encouragement for you on today, mamas, I just want to share with you that routines, they don't have to feel overwhelming. They don't have to feel overwhelming because when we start our day, when we start with God's presence and anchor in his purpose and keep it simple, then that's when we create a God centered routine that refreshes us. It refreshes our spirit instead of draining it. If this encouraged you on today, be sure to subscribe for more faith filled time management tips. And don't forget to grab your free 7-day flourishing devotional. It's a perfect way to experience harmony and not hustle and create those rhythms that last. You'll find the link in the description below. Again, thank you so very much for joining me, and I look forward to connecting with you on the next video.